Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, Anita Finley.
It's Flower Power Cruise time, and I have just come back. Actually, it seems like it just came back, but it's been, probably a month or so. It seems like it's still in my blood, though. And I'm going to talk to the man who really runs this whole thing, this whole Star Vista and everything else he does. But I have to just appreciate you and your group that puts these wonderful theme cruises on, Alan. Alan Rubens.
Hi, how are you, Anita?
I am great, and I'm sorry. And it's Alan Rubin, not Rubens. Yeah, it is Rubens, isn't it?
It's Rubens, yes.
Yeah, Rubens. So, I met with you, and we once went over all this, but it wasn't the Flower Power Cruise, which I just came off of. You don't stop creating, do you?
I try not. They put me a lot of pressure here. They said you had a good idea to go in the theme cruise business. What's the next one? Then after that, what's the next one? So
I know you have another one. I think what's it called? Love something? I forget.
The Rock and Romance Cruise we've just announced and launching in 2017. But there's so many great pockets and eras of music and times of our past to re-celebrate that thankfully I haven't run out of ideas and eras and time periods to celebrate. A perfect example was the Flower Power Cruise. It was really a certain pocket of time and a certain pocket of music that we started selling that and announced it, and it created and had a kind of energy on its own and sold out way in advance as a first cruise for us, which is amazing. And you were there, so you know the kind of excitement that we had.
Oh, absolutely. And I just have to compliment your staff. I've been on other cruises, but everything is so well organized. I know that Janine plays a very big part in this, but
yes,
organized down to the T. I mean, she was there for everything, and that was a comment that people made why they liked going on the cruises that you all put on. It really, whatever you say you're going to do, you do, and it is fun-filled, 24 hours if you want to do that. The ship was great. I don't know how you made the weather so great, but that was great, too.
We get lucky sometimes.
And I have to tell you, my husband, who's 92, went with me, and this is not his time, but when I said we ought to go, he said, "Oh, you think I'm going to like it?" I said, "Of course you're going to like it, because there's always something." He loved it. I mean, it was great stuff, even if he had never heard it before.
Now, it's one thing that we try to accomplish each time is to make the customers experience anything and everything that they could possibly imagine. And the first thing that has to be is every detail has to be what a person would say, "Oh, that's great. Oh, that's great." What we don't want you to do is get off with a list of complaints and a list of issues. So we have to concern ourselves with the talent, the presentation, the entertainment, and then every detail to make your experience something that you say, "I got to come back. This was the greatest thing in the world." So it's really what we shoot for each and every time. And Janine is one of the people that just helps make that a reality.
Well, and you just said something about the talent. Okay. I mean, how can you get all those people together on one ship and they're loving it?
Well, listen, that's what I work on. It takes me months to try to get all of them to agree to come, to want to come. But in most cases, not only do we call and offer the money for the shows, we sell them on the concept. You were part of this. You were there. The customers that are going to be on the boat grew up with you, grew up with your music. It's a shared, like-minded audience, and you're part of that same shared, like-minded audience. And we talk to a lot of artists, and the ones that buy into that and understand that that's what they're going on, not just to go do a show somewhere and make people clap because you sang all your hits, but to really bring that experience and share the experience of reliving that time, that era, and that music together again. That's who we get on the boat, and a lot of artists are happy to share that and be part of that, luckily for all of us.
Well, see, I enjoyed just watching the audiences, and Janine was great. She gave us beautiful VIP seats so I could oversee everything, and I would watch this is also unusual. These guys perform for an hour and a half longer, and yet when it's over, they want to leave. They're tired. They have another show to do. No, the clapping doesn't stop. The screaming doesn't stop. They come back out again because they're having so much fun. And the women, mostly the women, run up there. They try to catch them up on stage, and it's wild.
We're all teenagers again. That's the idea. They and us. We're all teenagers again. And where else could you go to have that feeling of being that teenager again and reliving that time period? One of my famous expressions that I think Jerry Blavitt from the Malt Shop Cruise, our host, has always made me believe in is, you can't live in the past, but it sure is nice to go back and visit and run up to the stage, get an autograph, shake a hand, and feel like you're back in that 18, 19, 20-year-old time period when those artists meant everything to you.
And you are right when you're convincing the artists to come, because let's face it, some of them probably, inside think, well, I'm past, I did it, nobody cares, nobody knows. When they get finished with that cruise, they must their buttons are bursting.
The nicest thing that I get, besides the customers who want to come back, is the artists who call and say, you were right, I'm back whenever you want me, man. That was a blast. That was fabulous. Please. I mean, I can't tell how many artists got off this boat and say, you want me next year? I'm coming back. Whatever you want, I'm back. This was great. Great experience, great fun. Again, that shared vision, that shared time period gives that artist the same feeling, hopefully, that our customers getting. And again, begging to come back. So that's the greatest compliment. The customers will come back and the artists who are begging to come back.
Well, speaking of one of the artist groups, Herman's Hermits, starring Peter Noon, he just doesn't age. He has more energy. People are wild, and he's funny. I saw him the last time that I was on the malt shop.
Malt shop, right?
Yeah, but I didn't realize he was such a comic. He is fantastic.
Phenomenal entertainer, phenomenal, and somebody who didn't want to do I don't do cruises, I don't know.
Really?
Loved the Malt Shop Cruise and came on this one and even loved this one more and said, you know what, I'm back, this was great. He's just a marvelous entertainer. That's why I put him on the first night, because I wanted to create the mood that he would create. When you left his show, I felt the customer would say, oh, I can't wait for the rest of this week. This was a great start. So that's why we had him on the first night.
Right. Well, I thought, who's going to be as good as this? And, of course, I wasn't familiar with the Rascals. I should have been, but I wasn't. And, oh, my heavens, this Felix Cavalieri. I mean, and, of course, you know that some of them are younger, so you knew it wasn't part. And they always say, oh, we brought some other guys in, but some of them are so good. He even comments it's probably better than the original team. But he was, he's right there, front and center. And I could go down the list. In fact, I wrote the article. When people listen, please go to the April issue. You'll see a full page about it. And then, of course, you'll see the next one coming up February 27th to March 4th, 2017. I always tell people, don't just go on a cruise. Go on a themed cruise and go on one of the Star Vista cruises, because the days will go so fast. You will love every minute of it. You could be single and go on it. You could be married. There were groups on there together. They go every time you have one. They do this as a whole group.
Yep. Well, it's, again, that like-minded shared experience. You can come from Detroit, Chicago, Florida, Atlanta, New York, Philly, Boston, wherever you were during this time period, you had similar memories and similar shared experiences. Put you on a boat, it's a chance to share those experiences. This is what I did when I was in high school, and this is what we did where we grew up in high school. And we all love the same music, so there's that like-minded shared experience that it brings to everybody's mind that makes you all friends again. It's like going to a gigantic Woodstock on a boat.
That's so true. Now, of course, Alan Rubens, for me, is the guru of this whole thing. What is actually your position other than being the creator?
I'm the executive producer of most of all of our theme cruises. I started with Time Life years ago and produced the infomercials, and had the idea from our music infomercials that most of them were focused on eras, that we could take those same eras and create live events that would bring the music to life again for all of us. So I'm the executive producer of the theme cruises. Well,
I don't know how you sleep at night, but I was sorry that I didn't know if you were on. I don't think you were on this time, were you?
I was. Yes, I was.
I missed it. I missed seeing you because I did.
I told Janine the same thing, but I missed you.
Well, thank you. But Janine was running around like crazy, as she always does, and I didn't have much time to talk to her, but she always takes care of what she says she's going to do. And the other part that is pretty amazing is when you get out from the main theater, it's like, okay, well, let's just go back to the room. No. Every nook and cranny, there's some other entertainer, even a group that maybe entertained before, or new people, or people who weren't as famous. And the place, there are never seats because you have to stand because everyone's thrilling. They don't want to go back and go to sleep.
Well, as the executive producer, my job is to not only pick all the talent, but program the boat on a 24-hour basis. And my feeling is that you should get off the boat and say, oh, my God, I can't imagine. Everywhere I went, everywhere I turned, there was something going on. That's the way we put together the programming. So when you leave the theater, you walk past a Beatles tribute band. Yeah. Or the Family Stone on deck doing a dance concert. Or, Mark Lindsay, Port Everglades and the Raiders music in another room. It's another way to say, I can't go to bed. I'm on a cruise. This is the greatest vacation in the world of my life. So that's the way I try to program it and try to put it together so people say just exactly what you just said.
Now, was it Matt Roche with the TV guide?
Yes.
Well,
yes.
I learned a lot from that. That's kind of, okay, we're going to sit in here and we're going to, no music, we're going to watch. Well, I learned so much from what he did with the documentaries.
Yes. Well, when we talk about a certain period of time, it was about the music, but it was also about television. It was radio. It was the current events. It's everything that was going on. And the idea is if we're going to take you back to an era for a week, and we want you to be surrounded by all the influences that made that era so important and made you who you are today because you grew up with that. So it's share those experiences, share the events, the times, and everything else that made the Flower Power era or the Malt Shop era so very important and so much a part of your life.
And then when we got off at Cozumel, which I guess I've been there before, it was okay, but I couldn't wait to get back to the ship. It just... I mean, that's funny, isn't it? Because it's like another island. If you've seen one, you've seen them all. That's not right. That's not nice to say, but it really. But I'll tell you what. And being from South Florida, I've been to Key West a lot. But Key West was pretty interesting this time because maybe we ventured out and we went on the little tour bus, and I learned an awful lot. And so that was very nice. And so. Those two places, I'm sure for a lot of the people who I saw were not from South Florida. They're from all over the country.
Right. Yes. Again, our cruises draw from an awful big area in this country. In Flower Power, we got a lot from California, Arizona, Texas, besides up and down the East Coast. So it's wonderful for people to come and maybe go to a destination that they wouldn't normally go to or get to. But the feeling of wanting to get back on the boat and being part of the Flower Power cruise again makes the stops a wonderful break, but a secondary to the experience that's going on the boat.
And also, you must have a lot of power with those cruise companies because they are so nice to us. The staff, the way they treat you, the accommodations, the meals. I mean, that's like even if you didn't have the entertainment, it would have been a nice cruise.
Janine works very hard during the year to put together what we say an onboard memo. And we meet with these boats and their personnel, the hotel director, the captain of the boats, and the executives in the company, and show them, here's what we need and expect you to do to give our customers the experience that we plan to provide for them. And happily they sign on and understand from that memo all and every little thing that they need to do. And part of this being wonderful, being nice, great service, good food, make it a good experience. And that's why we're dealing with Celebrity and Holland America right now, because we feel that so far they're delivering what we need for our customers.
I wondered about that because the men and the women, the staff, I mean, they were even dancing. Some of them, of course, are there while the performers are going. You could see that they're enjoying it. They kind of act up a little bit. They really, so now that's how it happened. It wasn't casual. You've made sure that this happened.
Yeah, we've been doing this for a while, and we've learned from our own shortfalls in the past and things that boats have done and done well for us and what we've seen. And we go on other cruises to go see what they're doing in other boat lines to learn. And we've built a little program that we need and plan with these boats that here's what you need to provide for our customers. Here's the experience that we plan to present and deliver for them. You're part of that experience. And again, happily, the captain and the hotel directors of these boats and the executives sign on and say, we're in. Sounds like a great trip. And we provide some costumes for some of their staff to go be part of the experience.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And they buy in, yeah. If you see, when you walk into the theaters, you'll see some people dressed in the Flower Power era, or some people in Malt Shop dressed. They're the boat employees, and we provide some costumes. And they happily say, "Oh yeah, we'll wear that. Let's go. We're in."
I love that. No, that is great. Well, I just want everyone to know this celebrity we're talking is Alan. Alan Rubens, and he's the executive producer of what we're talking about. But he's been really, I had a privilege to sit with him and really find out all that he did. And I found out about the Time, Life, all those things you see advertised. I bought a bunch of those things, by the way. I have enjoyed them.
Thank you.
Oh, I have. You do a great job of promoting that. I have to tell you, have the whole, I guess they're channels, nothing but that. And when you're finished, hey, I'm going to go buy that. And I did. I bought Johnny Carson, and I bought, and to see Jack Benny and to see all those people on those shows, and especially Johnny Carson, I did not realize who he really was. I mean, I guess I saw some shows with him, but my heavens, what a star he was, and I'll bet you knew him.
Yeah, and that's one of the things we like to do, bring all forms of nostalgia, whether it's music or classic television. We believe that was part of so much of this population's history and earlier years, and we want to have you have the opportunity to relive it again. We have the Bob Hope series, we have the Dean Martin shows, the Carol Burnett shows, the Johnny Carson, the Ed Sullivan. So we have a whole part of our company that focuses on classic television and making it come alive again for our customers.
Yeah, you do. I mean, I'm with you all the time in a sense. I love that stuff, and I was just looking at this article, and I was thinking about the shirts. Now, I've had shirts from other places, but the design of these shirts, especially this one, Flower Power, were exquisite. And when I wear them now, I walk my dog, I wear them, people always say, where is that? Where did you get that? And I have to go through this whole scenario, which is good because it's a walking billboard.
One of the things that I pride myself on is when I try to put together each one of these themes is, if I was a customer, what would I expect and want out of this besides the entertainment? I want that tie-dye T-shirt. I want to go home with my freak flag and say, this is who I am. This is when I grew up. So, yes, all of it's part of the experience, because the other thing is we want you to go home and have people say, what is that? Where'd you get that?
Right.
Good way of advertising it, but it's also your way of putting on something with some pride and say, I was here. This was fun. The same way you leave in the 60s and bought a Woodstock T-shirt or a T-shirt from a Jimi Hendrix concert. It's your way of saying, I was there. This is what I did this year.
Well, based on that also, I have to say that I've already washed it twice. It does not run. It's beautifully.
Good quality.
Very high quality. I really have enjoyed it a lot. And so, yeah, it has been a lot of fun. Something else that keeps me thinking about why people love this so much is they are amazing how they have grouped up together. I told you about that, and when we sat with different people at the dinners, oh my heavens, they meet. Let's say friends are in California. They meet up with people who are in Chicago. They all come here. This is like the reunion to meet together. Yes.
Yeah. We have many people on our Malt Shop cruise who their reunion is every year on the Malt Shop cruise.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They plan their reunion. My best friend lives in Detroit. The other girlfriend we hung out with was in Dallas, and the other in Colorado. So every year, how we get together is we come on the Malt Shop cruise, and we get together again. And they make it part because they grew up together in that time period. So their reunion with the music and the other events of the time period is a great way to have a reunion and get back together and share the experiences again.
Yeah, that does make sense. And when I'm outside by the pool and you have your big entertainers, I guess every day there's another big show, and you see the sea of these shirts, and you see it is it's such camaraderie, and the entertainers are enjoying this. So, I mean, I'm just enjoying watching them, seeing the people who are enjoying this whole thing. And they don't have a care in the world, especially this last time where the weather was perfect. It was people were getting sunburned, which was stupid, but because they were out there so much. But it is I can't, my camera really doesn't capture what I see there. But I'm smiling here. You probably can't, I know you can't see it, but you can probably feel it. I'm smiling here at the microphone, reliving what I saw. And, actually, Alan, a lot of people go on cruises. And by the third day, unless they're there just to hole up and because they're so busy all week and they, all year and they just want to do nothing, there's not a lot to do. Yes, there's a lot to do in a way, but not organized like this. People complain, oh, well, I saw that show the other night, I don't want to go again, or it's the same this and that. This is really like going to a Broadway show every single night, and you don't have to write a check, and you've paid for it once, and everything is there.
Yeah, that's the idea, that we want you to jump on the boat, leave your cares, your worries at home, be taken back to a specific time period, and just your mornings, your afternoons, your nights are just, you don't know what to do next because there's so much to do.
Yeah.
And by the time you get off the boat, it's like, oh, that was just unbelievable. You don't have to see the same thing twice. You can go to the next event, the next artist, the next this, the next that. Again, our main thing is to make you get off the boat and feel you got your money's worth. That's our main function, main effort, and biggest satisfaction is when people get off the boat and say, it was worth my time, my effort, and my money.
Oh, I'm sure they feel that way. I saw when you get off the ship and there's a long line to go through immigration and you see people all different. The younger ones, there are a lot of older people, really older, in their 80s and older. This really wasn't their time, but they're with wheelchairs. They're with walkers. You really do carry a big range of people. There are people who brought their teenage kids or It's a great spectrum of people who are enjoying. It's hard not to enjoy the music, even if you don't recognize the music, because the talent is superb.
Again, this past year on Flower Power was a great array of talent, a great lineup. And the lineup for next year is, one thing that I try to do is each year when I get off one of our theme cruises, and I know I have to do next year's, I have to outdo this year next year, because if not, it's a letdown. So the lineup for year 2 of Flower Power is a great lineup. And still working, still adding some names, but right now it's a great lineup.
Right. We've got, of course, Mickey Dolenz is back, the Monkees lead singer. I see Three Dog Night, The Fifth Dimension. I mean, these are names that I do remember myself. So this is the next one, everybody. Mark your calendars down. February the 27th to March the 4th. You board in Fort Lauderdale. It's a very easy way to board a cruise ship. It's going to Falmouth, Jamaica, Nassau, Bahamas. It'll be on the Celebrity, but it'll be on the Summit this time, which is a beautiful ship.
It's the sister ship of the Constellation, which we had last year. It's just a little newer and fresher since it's been dry docked recently. So it's the same boat, only a little newer, a little fresher. And nothing was wrong with last year's boat. This is just almost like a brand new boat.
Yeah, well, once you're on there, you don't even look at the boat. As long as the service is good, it's fine. And actually, if you are interested in doing this, why don't you, let me give you a way to get there. You can actually just go on the website. It's flowerpowercruise.com, flowerpowercruise.com. You can call 844-799-FLOWER, 844-799-FLOWER. And if you mention this, that you heard about it, maybe with the Boomer Times, Anita Finley, they may even give you a special rate. Who knows? But it's worth it. I don't care what they charge you, frankly. It is the best cruise that you're going to get on, and you're going to be cared for. And just bring friends, though, because that's the way to enjoy this. You'll love this. So, Alan, you talked about the next one you're going to be doing, the Rock and Roll Cruise.
Rock and Romance Cruise.
Rock and Romance Cruise. My gosh. And what period is that?
That's going to be the 70s.
Oh, my.
And who we have on that one is Peter Frampton. As a star, we have Peter Frampton, America, Little River Band, the orchestra featuring members of ELO, Christopher Cross, Stephen Bishop, Player. It's just a great lineup that's just coming together, and it's going to be reliving the 70s and that wonderful feel-good music that made that time so special.
Rock and Romance Cruise. Well, that should be fantastic, because the 70s, I had just gotten divorced, so I was a wild woman in the 72. So I'm sure there's a lot of romance in that. So that's good. Well, you're So you're still doing, of course, what we said. You're doing this, and then you're putting out more of the I would call them the older celebrities, but now you got to move up a little bit. You know, those are older people. Now you got to get some more younger celebrities on the shows. Yes. I mean, you know, on your TV, on the TV that you. Right. So that's another interesting thing, because a lot of them that you had earlier, even though they may be living, we don't see them the way they were.
Right. We also do the Wonder Years, which is a much more newer show. So classic TV spans, we started with the 50s, 60s, but we're doing the 70s and 80s. And again, we're a company that believes in nostalgia. We bring it back from TV and from music. So we're trying to span and do more and younger in cruises, in TV infomercial packages, and in CDs and DVDs. So we try to span what a lot of people grew up with in a lot of decades and a lot of different eras.
And where do you get these all produced? Do you have a particular place? Is it in L.A.?
No, I live outside of the Philadelphia area. I produce a lot of the infomercials in the Philadelphia area. A lot of our classic TV stuff is done out in L.A. A lot of the music stuff I do in Philadelphia or in Virginia, where our home office is. We do the CD and music stuff, again, East Coast, and a lot of the classic TV we do on the West Coast. And
you're in charge of, how do you remember all this?
I have a lot of lists and papers coming out of every pocket.
Oh, my goodness. You are a wonder man, a wonder guy, and I'm so happy that I've become affiliated with this, because I have a big smile on my face. I loved it. It's been something that we'll always remember, and I want to thank you so much, Alan, for taking your time today.
Well,
to everybody. Thanks.
Before we hang up, I just want to go over the lineup for Flower Power next year.
Okay.
Because it's Eric Burden and the Animals, Chad and Jeremy, Mickey Dolenz from the Monkees, The Fifth Dimension, Love and Spoonful, Rare Earth, Spencer Davis, Three Dog Night, Yardbirds, Vanilla Fudge, and the Family Stone. So it's a great lineup for Flower Power next year. We went over the Rock and Romance one, and Anita, you're welcome back each and every time.
Oh my goodness, I'm going crazy. So thank you. If you ever come around here, South Florida, please call me.
I will.
Okay, thanks so much. Bye.
All right, bye.